My name is May Hong. I am the speaking voice of Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is Moana Nui podcast. Signing off. Happy fans. Do it with me. Happy fans. Happy Hon.
So this is what? How many years have y'all been coming to Toylanta?
This is our actually first year.
Okay. All right, and I am the James back here at Toylanta 2026 with Moana Nui podcast, and I am with
Bud James. Oh no, I'm not Bud James. I'm Gregg Berger, me Grimlock, and me lots of other things as well. How you doing, Bud?
I'm doing great. So before we get into all of my favorite characters, how did you get into voice acting? Like, what was that journey?
There's a long story that I'll try to make short. My first, last, and always love is theater. I was in a play in which I was jumping in and out of characters. It happened to be seen on a specific night by Gordon Hunt, who was doing all the voice direction at Hanna-Barbera. He thanked my lucky stars, came backstage, said, if you're as versatile as what we saw on stage, we should know about you at Hanna-Barbera. Me, who's not usually like this, said, well, you've had my demo for a couple of months. If you could move it from the bottom to the top, I'd love to be doing what you're doing. He said, you got a lot of nerve, huh? And I said, normally no, but if this is an opportunity, I'm not mistaking it for anything other than that. He said, I love it. We'll be seeing you soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that one night changed, I swear, every day of the rest of my life. I became a known quantity because of that night.
All right, so I won't say in the beginning, but a lot of your well-known characters, for at least for my generation, being an 80s kid, a lot of the 80s shows, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and it took me until about my 20s to recognize that a lot of you all did
Garfield
both shows.
show.
Yeah, the Garfield show as well, but a lot of you all who did Transformers did G.I. Joe and vice versa.
Absolutely.
How did that come about? Was that just a Hasbro thing or just...
I actually had been cast by Wally Burr in a show called The Littles, and I played Frank Little,
yes,
the dad, and it was right down the middle. And Wally had seen the same show that I'm referring to in my earlier comments. Mm-hmm. He said, I thought I knew your range, but I'm blown away. He said, I'm going to tell you I'm working on 2 enormous projects, and I'm going to keep you in mind for everything. You're very versatile. And again, lucky stars, and not undervaluing my contribution, but I was right for Grimlock, I was right for Spirit, I was right for Firefly, I was right for Long Haul, I was right for Skyfire, who became Jetfire. So I was off and running. And those shows, if you were cast in both, were as busy as a voice actor can be. If you were in a session, you were late for the next session, but it was the same director, so all was well.
Sounds like
it was amazing.
Rock star lifestyle almost.
Rock star indeed. If I was a musician, it would have been the same thing in sessions.
Good. Any particular show, at least from the 80s, let's stay there, because I want to move decade by decade a little bit. In the 80s, I pretty much stood out as far as the work that you've done.
Oh my! I had families. I had my G.I. Joe family. I had my Transformers family. If Scatman brought his ukulele, nobody wanted to go back to work.
Nice.
I had my Garfield family with Lorenzo Music and Frank Welker and Tom Hughey in the early days, and I guess I have an ability or a desire to bond with casts, and there was so much time spent together that those of us who chose to embrace each other have been friends for a lifetime. And also, it's astonishing how much of that early casting led to careers, not just jobs,
Right.
not just series, but absolute consistent careers. And I'm among the fortunate because I am one of them.
And you mentioned careers, and again, I can see here, and just I'm gonna hold this up briefly.
That's
all
my
the
Whitman
characters
sampler.
that you have voiced
That and
through
more.
your career, just some of them. And I'm looking at Kraven the Hunter and Mysterio from
I wanted to
Spider-Man.
mount Spider-Man on the wall as my trophy.
Agent K from Men in Black.
Shoot him, Jay. The cerebrofacialoid, the brains are in their bottoms.
So you've had this wonderful, illustrious career of all these characters, and oh gosh, I'm like really like brain farting and geeking out at the same time because
I'm here when you need me.
G.I. Joe, Garfield, Lisa
And like-
Space Invaders.
so
There was that. I had an on-camera career. I had an on-stage career.
Right.
I was in much of the 90s, 80s, 90s episodic television. And then that sweet spot hit, and I recognized opportunity for what it was, and it all started to go to animation and interactive gaming. That's a whole other realm with different skill sets.
yes.
Because it's you on one side of the glass and the director on the other side of the glass, and if they can't paint you in and out of energy levels and scenes, then there's a problem with continuity.
Right.
It's not like the old ensemble sessions where everybody was in the room and we were playing off each other, because there you make your own energy.
Absolutely. Any projects that you have in the works that you can talk about that we should probably be looking out for?
Those three letters, NDA.
Okay.
Non-disclosure agreement.
Very
and-
much understand that much.
You know, it's sometimes when a game is launched or a show comes out, they say, "Why aren't you talking about it?" And I say, "I just spent a year and a half not talking about it. I didn't know it was time to talk about it." At any rate, they tend to be very
Yes.
protective when things are in process.
All right.
Understandably.
Okay, so voicing, I want to go back a little bit to G.I. Joe and Transformers, two of the biggest IPs of the 80s. Both had movies to come out under different circumstances, of course. How did you feel when they were killing off characters in both in the movies to extend, the toy line or revamp the toy line, if you will?
I understood it from a realistic perspective. I also travel a lot with Flint Dille to these. He said after the Optimus
Yes.
part of the Transformers animated feature, he could not get into his office because the stacks of mail were blocking the door. And at that point, I think everybody became aware of fandom as the additional invisible member of the ensemble. And fandom has since been responsible for changing the course of the show, of casting, of things. And Hasbro and Sunbow became receptive to the audience demands of what they wanted. And anything you write, you can sort of unwrite. Not easily.
No, not easy. They tried.
But they did what they needed to do.
Absolutely. And your
Meanwhile,
characters survived, though.
In that same feature, every line they gave Grimlock became a T-shirt or a bumper sticker
Yes.
or both.
Yes.
They were like iconic catchphrases.
So, and speaking of Grimlock, because there is one specific episode that stands out for Grimlock. It was after the movie, Grimlock's Brain, I believe it's called, in which he gains super intelligence and creates.
I, Grimlock, have discovered that intelligence sucks. I, Grimlock, am giving it to Computron so that I can tail swipe and do the badass that I do.
Awesome. Easily one of my favorite episodes involving Grimlock because he is such a beloved character.
Awesome.
And have you been experiencing that here at the convention so far this weekend? Just people coming up and having that nostalgia
It's
moment.
so fulfilling to have people come to the table and attach an image to a memory, to an emotion. and so we can help preserve that moment, that memory, that emotion. And it's the South, and it's hospitable, and it's welcoming, and it's warm, and I'm just not physically, but emotionally, it's warm and fuzzy, and I love it. And I'm very happy to be here.
Awesome. Is there a character?
And it's a fantastically well-run show.
Is there a character from a show that you could have voiced and didn't get a chance to?
I've been so busy with the things I've been gifted with. It's me in real life, but
right.
I don't have time to think about the things I'm not doing. I'd much rather put all my energy into the things that I am.
And how much of your own personality has gone into some of the characters you voice?
I do coaching now, and I tell young, high-profile actors who are getting shots at animation that you have to let the material come to you, but you better reach out to the material.
Right.
Meet it in the middle and find something of yourself that you can invest in everything you do, or it doesn't ring true. I don't think it rings true. It has to be sort of a marriage. You're not putting it on like... There's impressionists who do impressions like they're putting on a mask.
Right.
And it's good, but it sort of rings hollow. Then there's those guys, and I'm sure you've seen them, where it comes from the inside out, and it's a whole other deal. Then it's more like they're channeling that impression, and that's the difference. It has a soul. It has a third dimension that anybody can relate to.
Awesome. All right. Before we get out of here, where can people find you on social
Turning
media?
into the philosophy hour.
Where can people find you on social media?
Facebook /Gregg Berger, spelled with 2 G's at the end. Instagram, I couldn't get my own name, so I'm Greggo Bergero.
Oh, wow.
At Greggo Bergero.
Right.
Nobody else wanted that.
Awesome. Well, I do thank you for your time sitting down with us today. This has been wonderful, reliving a lot of my childhood from the 80s and 90s. Just awesome being with you.
Don't forget Squeak the Mouse from the Garfield show, because when Garfield gets lasagna, Squeak gets the cheese.
Awesome. Thank you again. And from Toylanta 2026, I am James, Moana Nui Podcast, signing off.
Thanks, Jay.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off, called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if you put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course, versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course, cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell. Even if we have to ourselves, can keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will.